Hi, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Hello Tanzania. I'm your host with the most, Eric. You look like you're going to do nonsense on this. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Hello Tanzania. As always, I am your host, Lucinda. And this conversation today is very Gen Z coded. And with me on set is Miss Haika. Haika is going to be our resident Gen Zer spokesperson today. So... Stay tuned for whatever it is just to come. I'm just going to be asking questions as always, because I also need to learn about, Gen Zs, all the myths, all the perceptions that surround Gen Zs. So before we get ahead, I've already preempted our conversation today, but meet our audience. Haika, introduce yourself. I don't think I've done you justice. Tell us who you are, what it is you do, and then we'll take it up from there.
Okay. My name is Haika, obviously. I'm a mental health advocate and I'm also a wellness writer at The Citizen. So when it comes to explaining what I do, I tend to pause a bit because I do a lot of stuff, meaning that not only do I deal with the psychology aspect of mental health, I also deal with the branding aspect. I'm with Mind Matters. So it's like a lot of everything, but you could just say that I'm a mental health advocate, really.
All right, you seem shy.
I am.
How do you do the whole branding and whatnot? Because that involves talking with people,
of course,
engaging with people.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
So it's one of those things where I find that I operate better with one-on-one conversations than crowds, and I feel like it just has to. It more so boils down to what exactly I'm doing there. So if I'm pitching an idea, of course I'm gonna feel like, am I saying the right thing? Am I using the right words? But if it's more so something that I know, like I'm 100% knowledgeable when it comes to this conversation, and something that, no one can shake me when it comes to that specific thing, it's easy. But I feel like with most things, especially with dealing with people, you do feel a bit uneasy because people are not the same.
But like you're dealing with me. It's just me right now.
You could just, especially when you're meeting people, different kinds of people, you don't know what they're thinking.
I mean, that has to do with
everybody,
even the people that you know.
Yeah,
you
but
never
it's more
know what
so
they're
like
thinking.
When you're in that space, because obviously it's supposed to be a safe space, and it's supposed to feel welcoming and positive, overtly positive. And so when you deal with people on that level, there's a level of expectation that people have of you.
So like I could also be one of those. I like to think that I made you feel safe and comfortable and all of that. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, so I know we've spoken a lot about, I've given you some background rather, on what this conversation is about. We talk about people moving back home. This, as you put it, is a safe space for people to share their experiences, to learn from one another, because we've realized that people do tend to face challenges when they have to come back to a place that is supposed to feel familiar,
Of course.
but has moved on without them. And so, they have to play catch up to the society that they thought they once knew.
Of course.
And so that comes with its own set of challenges and, mental anguish, all of that.
Yeah.
Now, before we dive into all of that, it's customary for everyone who sits here,
Of course.
for us to, you lay the, groundwork of who you are, your upbringing. When you moved back to Tanzania, there are those who left as kids, those who were born outside, there are those who just left for university, and 4 years later, Tanzania is so different from what they remember. So different stories, different backgrounds, different experiences. So it's very important for our audiences, for them to know where this conversation is coming from.
Okay.
So tell us first about your upbringing. Were you born here? Did you grow up here? At what point did you leave Tanzania? At what point did you come back? Take us through that journey.
Okay. So I was born in the UK. Moved back in 2007, late 2007. And then I went back for university, spent 2 years in university, then came back to Tanzania. So I would say that my experience when it comes to assimilation and the changes that happen are more so from the perspective of someone that had no idea what it would be like moving back. And also in the eyes of a child, I think a lot of people that move back to Tanzania after a while away, they tend to, if they have children, they tend to kind of not disregard, but they take lightly of the changes that may be happening. For them, obviously, it's still a change for them being away for so long, but
they have better coping mechanisms.
But when it comes to children, this is an entirely new ball game. This is not them coming back; it's them moving somewhere entirely different. I feel like that's such a that's something that can really shake up someone, especially a young child, however young may be, even if you're a teenager, to be frank, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it was more so I experienced the most changes when I first came to Tanzania. When I first moved back to Tanzania, that was like the biggest whiplash situation because you're moving, you don't speak the language. It's been you and your mom and dad for the formative years of your life. That's all you know. Mom, dad, that's it. And then all of a sudden you go to the airport and there are a bunch of aunties that you've never met.
Who swear they did change your diaper at one point?
Yeah, they saw you at some point. They saw you. They held you when you were a baby.
Yeah.
They saw you when you were small.
Yeah.
You don't remember that. And you see them at the airport and they're super happy to see you. You're like, oh, I didn't know we were special. People are celebrating me coming back. And it's just like, you don't know that this is actually customary. People get really happy when you come back and they just whatever.
They do expect like the biggest of hugs. And you're like,
course.
I don't know you like that.
Of course. It's like and I feel like when you're a child, because children are more intuitive than grown-ups, and they're more outspoken with what they feel, how they feel, what they like, what they don't like. And so when you come into that situation and looking at it from a psychological perspective, Tanzania is a more interdependent society. The West is a independent society. Yeah. So we're more, community based, together in each other's business.
Politically correct way to put it. We're just in each other's business.
Of course, like everybody knows what you're doing.
Everybody minds everybody's business.
Yeah, and then when you look at the West, it's more so independent. Everybody does their own thing. You don't really see your cousins unless you really put in the effort to go see your cousin or something like that. So those are changes that I feel like growing up, it makes you very hyper aware of social cues and how to act around people, what to say, how you communicate, because communication styles are different. We're very passive here, but in the West, people are very direct. So I could just say something. I'd be like, I don't like what you did this day. But you can't say that here. You're like, you are like, sema kitu vizuri, yani, make sure, pole pole.
You gotta beat around the bush.
You have to really cushion people.
Yeah, you can't hit the nail directly on the head.
Yeah, you have
gotta
to really
bang around.
You have to really cushion people. And so I feel like that difference, but to some extent, I feel like that made me more appreciative of both ways of life, quote unquote. But moving back after uni was more so like, wow, look at how fast paced the work culture is. Look at how slow things are here. Example, like there are certain things that I would consider customary in the workplace. And then when you come here, someone is pitching something to you over the phone. It's like, I thought we were supposed to send an email. And then after email, then we get on a call.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have those two experiences, but I tend to feel that even though a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that are in the diaspora that have moved back as adults, like, oh, like Tanzania, it's so slow, like, it's just like the culture just they feel
culture shock
suffocated.
the culture
And then
shock
when you
is
have
intense.
people that move abroad when they're older, like, oh, it's so lonely. It's so lonely. I feel so alone.
But then you still have people who want to leave.
Of
You know,
course.
people look at you when you come in and they're like, you're so lucky. If I'd leave Tanzania, I would never come back.
I feel like it's more so people always struggle to appreciate what they have.
True.
So
And that is something I say a lot. Whenever I get that sentiment, I'm like, I wish you would appreciate just how lucky you are to be here. Because as you say, people in the West are very independent, right? And that means you tackle challenges on your own.
yeah.
Right? But you come to Tanzania, and in as much as it's uncomfortable and you're not used to it, there are benefits to it.
And for the most part, I think people genuinely mean well.
Yeah, like we take for granted the ability to actually go ask your neighbor for a cup of sugar.
Yeah.
So when it happens, you're like, how do you?
Why would you do that? Like,
But you're building that relationship, and you never know when it will come in handy,
of course.
right? So
I remember this one time. This was like the first few months of me back in the car. So I was with my mom to Kupale Salenda, and there's this albino man, Anaomba, and he was like, Dada, Naomba hela, and I was like, Mom, is that your brother?
Dada.
And she's like, no, that's not. I was like, then why is he calling you Dada, and why is your brother on the street begging for money?
Yeah.
And it never made sense to me in my mind. I was like, oh, so like it took a while for me to understand that that's just a courtesy thing. Like that's how people refer to each other.
Yeah.
It's to some extent it's a term of endearment because it makes you feel
True.
familiarity.
I've seen that with my son. For him, anybody that isn't mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, even auntie and uncle, because with my siblings, he has like these pet names with them. So everybody else is auntie so-and-so, right? So he comes here and he hears me calling my house help Dada. It's like, is she bigger than you? I thought you're the oldest in the family. And I'm like, no, Dada just means sister. Yeah, but I know that. But why are you calling her sister? She's not your sister. Why don't you just call her by her name? But in Tanzania, you cannot call adults by their first names.
yeah,
That is like disrespect on a whole other level.
of course.
But how do I explain this to this 10-year-old?
It's just
I mean, I can explain it, and I think he understands it. It's just he has that it doesn't make sense kind of situation, because then he has to go back to that environment where,
and then be like, oh,
yeah,
I feel like it's one of those things where to teach the fish how to swim, you have to throw it in the water.
sure,
Like you just have to have them completely immersed. It doesn't make sense. I don't know if for a longest time I was like, it doesn't make sense, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
yeah.
It's
Now,
one.
the like all the shocks, yeah, you generalize the whiplash that came with it, but it's always interesting to hear like individual stories. What were some of those? Wow, this only happens in TZ situations.
I think I would say like there are a couple of things, but I think more so in relation to how I dealt with family, extended family, how I dealt with education, and just like, I feel like obviously there is a difference with, it depends on which country you were in, but the British are typically very polite. So someone being overtly polite wasn't necessarily new to me because that was already the environment that I was in. But just the culture of just having anyone like my mom would be like, oh, ni auntie so and so, and you ask them how, like, we just met her yesterday. She's auntie so and so. Nenda ukale ko auntie so and so. I'm like, I don't know this lady or her kids.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to this random person's house, and we're just gonna chill, I guess.
Yeah, vibes.
Vibes, of course. Like, it's like, oh, like, you live in an environment where even when it comes to dealing with house help, security guards, all that, obviously there is the niceness in passing, but the care I think the communal aspect of, okay, huyu ni mlinzi wangu, like overextending yourself, it would be considered overextending yourself.
Yeah.
But over here it's just like being a good human being.
Sure.
So it's like you have people that, they do work for you there and there. And it's like you have to kind of like treat them more than just house help.
I mean, yeah. I think it comes with the territory of being Tanzanian, because you can't have your security guard and not give him dinner.
Of course.
They're doing shifts. I have a friend of mine, she doesn't work with them directly. She works with a company. So there's a day guard, a night guard, obviously. And she gives them lunch. Like with the Western and foreign countries, a lot of times you find all of that is covered in their salary.
Right? Of course, yeah.
So if you guys agree to $100 as your salary, that should cover your transport, that should cover your meals, beverages. I can't even give you water, right? And then you come to Tanzania and I think maybe because you see with like domestic help, even growing out there, my mom just always had that treatment for house help. Some of them were live-in, others came and went. So
for the most part, most people didn't. I don't remember having house help. It was just me and my parents. Yeah. In the UK, just me and my parents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I grew up.
I don't think my mom would have survived with 4 kids without house help.
Me and my parents, because getting a maid is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just me and my parents, and then with my cousin and sister. And it's not like they were like take turns taking care of me. It's more so like she goes to school, you pick her up from school. If it's a weekend, you just stay with her in the house. But it's like having house help being a mandatory almost thing. That's primarily.
Do you think that actually made an independent woman of you? Like, can you do chores?
Of course, but it's more so like it kind of, and this goes back to what I said about Western culture being more independent. It just enables you're more likely to feel secure in your aloneness. Does that make sense? So it's like a lot of times my peers or people that grew up here, for them, like always having people around them, always having family around them is like the standard to some extent. Like they're always going somewhere, family event all the time, always having something going on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because you're used to primarily engaging with your parents and maybe your 1 or 2 occasional cousins, I could go a couple of days without really dealing with other people that are not extended family. Like I don't feel like, I haven't seen so-and-so in a long time. I don't feel that, because it's like when your primary bonds were built based on the nuclear family structure, having to work towards building those bonds with other people. I remember this one time my auntie came and my mom asked me for a glass of water, and then my auntie asked me for a glass of juice. So in my mind, I'm like, let me just get my mom a glass of water. And then my auntie's like, why didn't you get me juice? I was like, but my mom asked for it.
Yeah.
And so like in her mind, she probably read it as really disrespectful, that I'm not respecting her. Yeah. But in my mind, I genuinely did not see that I was doing something wrong, because I was like, my mom asked me for this. I don't call anyone.
She takes priority.
Yeah. I don't really call anyone else mama because I have a mom. I don't call anyone else baba because I have a dad. Like that's the thought process that I have. But I feel like growing up in that environment makes you very vigilant to understanding people's emotions and understanding how they interact with you. So like you kind of you become a double agent.
I feel like that is a uniquely you experience. I've never heard anyone put it that way, because as you say, we grow up with people around us. Learning emotional intelligence from such a young age it's not something everyone can do. You could learn what works for you specifically, but not always aware of that which happens around you. And like with the example that you gave, if that were me, I honestly wouldn't care what the other auntie thought about the situation.
I was like so shook. I was like, let me get her the glass of juice.
It wouldn't even faze me. In fact, I'll be like, how dare you? You know? I was talking to my mom today, and I was telling her something that happened with an extended relative. And this is somebody I haven't seen in years. I don't even know what she looks like. She's, okay, without saying much before the relatives who know who I'm talking about, but I haven't seen this relative in forever. I don't remember what they look like. You know, I know them by their child's name. You know, I don't think I even know her name.
So it's more so like Mama so and so.
Yeah, Baba Flani, like that. Yeah, so that's how I know this person. And so something happened. My dad's, you know, gave me a couple of instructions and all of that. I followed them to the T. And I explained to this relative what was to happen. Next thing I know, this person is calling me. Did you do 1, 2, 3? Did you do that? Like every few minutes I get a call. She's giving me a new instruction. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. I'm getting new instructions. And I got so irritated because I've explained, I've laid out everything for you as I was instructed. And so I'm like, I don't know why she kept doing that. I don't know her like that. And I saw my mom laugh so hard because she was like, I can literally see you say that to this person. Because unlike my siblings are kind of emotionally aware. So, you know, they'll be all politically correct, you know, elders and all that. But I'm the kind of person, you know, if mom and dad say 1, 2, 3, I will do it as
what they say.
Instructed.
Of course, yeah.
So if you don't like it, take it up with them. If you don't like it, and I've not done anything wrong, mind you, even if you go back to my parents, I'm like, I did what you asked me to. You know? Na hakuna utanifanya.
Yeah, of course.
So when I say that, my mom laughed and she's like, oh my God, I hope you didn't exactly say that. I'm like, I mean, you know?
So it's so like, I don't know, it's so polarizing because it's more one of those things where it's like, you live in a different world because it's like you're in an incubator. When you're with your family, with your nuclear family, with your parents, you live in your own, you have a level of understanding in which you operate. And then other people expect you to kind of operate according to how they deem your family is supposed to operate. While really it's just like, okay, this is how we do things. This is how my daughter addresses me.
What about socially? What shocked you? Like, I remember one of the biggest culture shocks that I had was mishkakis. Like, not the meat, like the motorbike public transport where there's like 3-4 people on one tiny little bike. That really shook me.
It was the buses. I'm not even gonna hold you. The buses. Like, why are we in this like a pack of sardines? Like, what is going on?
Honestly, the buses didn't really shock me because I used to see them over Christmas holiday. And you know, it's so crowded over December, Christmas holidays, New Year's holidays. So I kind of always knew. And for me, that was like a huge adventure. Every time we came for December holidays, I'm like, I want to get in the dalalas. And my son used to want that. And then he came for this particular holiday and they put him on a daladala and he got home so pissed off. He was so pissed off. He's like, why is everyone shouting? Why is it so tight? Why are they not breathing? There are only a few chairs. Why are people oh my God, this kid was livid.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, think about it. You come from a country where you have a bus pass, a card. And if you're a student, if you're a child, it's free. You get on the bus for free. I don't know what it is right now. It's probably, I don't know.
200 shillings?
No, I'm saying like in the UK. Levels, you're not smelling anyone's armpits. Like you're seated, you scan your card and it's okay. Like you can literally go about your life not having a car and be content. I remember like I was on the bus every single day to and from school.
I actually found the buses quite an adventure. I always looked forward
to it. That's a positive way to look.
No, that's the thing. That was just a holiday Tanzania. But when I moved back and actually settled, I was like,
this is hell.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
So it's like, and then you come here and it's like everybody's fighting for seats.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like you smell someone's armpit, and it's like, oh,
I feel like armpit is like really, really far. There's that.
You just feel like everybody's all up in your space.
Yeah, there's that. You especially during. Not even in the mornings, by the way, because it's so cramped. It's so packed.
Like you're literally
and somebody feels you or touches you, and there's like sweat on their little hairs, and so they touch you, and you're like, oh my god.
I hear people say, oh, like when you take public transport, like obviously in the West, oh, you take public transport, make sure you take off all your clothes at the door. I'm like, you've not been into the bacteria bomb, which is a Tanzanian dada. You have not.
It is crazy. But the mishkakis, in terms of public transport, the bikes, the mishkakis, that honestly for me,
you
was
love
a shock.
them?
No. You won't catch me on a boda boda. Like if I'm on a boda boda, there's somewhere I'm genuinely rushing to that I'm super, super, super late, or I'm going to a place where there isn't good car access, or I know like Uber, Bolt drivers are gonna make a deal about it. The road is really bad, but I don't.
My parents, they do not want to hear that shit.
I can't. Boda is just I can't. So now you find people doing 3 mishkakis.
With the kids.
I've seen that with kids. Actually, the other week, I remember using this as a learning point, and I was like, I cannot believe I have become this parent, by the way. My son is on my case wanting to get on a boda boda. I have a friend of mine who's an engineer. So sometimes when he goes on his sites, he uses his boda boda. So usually when my son is around and he's around, I'm like, come get your kid and, do your thing. So he was looking forward to seeing his uncle. But now he's not around this time. So it's like, Mommy, why don't we just do like me and you? I've seen moms on the boda bodas with their child. I'm like, no, that's not happening.
That's not my kid.
This one Saturday afternoon, there was a basketball tournament at one of the schools there, and he was going to go play with his cousins and all that. And so we're in the boat, and this boda boda passes us by, and there's like 4 kids at the back, all holding on for dear life against each other, and then there's one little kid on the tank on the boda boda, like literally by the handlebars. And there's such heavy traffic, and it had just rained that afternoon, so it was muddy. And in Tanzania, when it rains, it's like everybody's brain on the road just gets congested and muddy. So I was like, listen, you see that? That's why I don't let you do boda boda. Because now he's like, that is so scary. What if one of the kids falls off? I'm like, see why I say no to you doing boda boda? He's like, yeah, but it will just be me, Mom. I'm like, what's going to stop this driver from getting another child on the road while he has you on the bike?
Nothing.
And I'm not there to make sure that he takes you alone. Besides, that person is not going to protect you. You're not his child. And he sat there and looked at me, and he's like, maybe you're right. I'm like, I am right. What do you mean maybe I'm right? I am right. So I found that very shocking. Like, as a parent, you actually let your kid, I still find it shocking. You let your kid get on a boda boda off to school because this guy has told you, I take other kids to school in the morning so I can come and get your kid. I have seen how people drive.
I've seen how like these kids are tiny.
These kids are tiny. And mind you, I'm looking at the times that they go to school early in the morning. I remember as a kid, like there's a time I was using the school bus and my mom was like, no, you can't keep doing this. So my dad ended up, doing the school drop off and pick up and everything because the school, I have to wake up super, super early and we lived quite far from school. So I'm usually the first person picked up and often the last to be dropped off. So I'm up at 5 and the school bus picks me up at like 5:30, 5:45. And it's taking me all over the city doing pickups.
Yeah.
School starts at 8. So you can imagine from 5:45, I'm in the school bus until 7:50 when the bus drops us off at school. Right on time for assembly.
That's like,
and then school comes off at 3. We get in the school bus and we're driving around and I get dropped off at home for like 5, 6.
That's tiring.
Yeah. When do I do my homework? When do I rest? And mind you, I have African parents. So you're going to come home and you're going to study. They're going to want to see you
course.
sitting at the table
Doing homework.
and doing your homework and reading. So I would, like, I kind of had a system where I probably would do like very little homework. I'll get on the bus in the morning. I had time to nap and wake up and do my homework. Or do my homework on the school bus on the way. On the way home was always challenging because, you know, we're all vibed up and energetic and talking about school. So I'm not really paying attention to my books. So it was usually in the mornings. And so now when I think back, I'm like, I used to sleep in the school bus at this time and somebody has their kid on a bike. A kid who probably didn't sleep properly last night. Or maybe they did, but they're still sleepy. So what if the kid at the very back of this mshkaki just nods off like this?
He's
and
gone.
They fall off. And their hands are like really tiny. So they let go and...
They're tiny and frail. Like they're so cute though.
No, that just terrifies me. So yeah, that was like one of my biggest societal, social, you know, culture shocks because I was like, this can't be real.
Seeing, but it's one of those things where it's like, so cute, but they're like so dangerous.
There's nothing cute. No, there's nothing cute about that at all. Like you cannot convince
the kids
me.
are cute. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely not. In that situation, there's nothing cute.
Everything's just dangerous.
Everything is just scary. Like I want to stop this guy and be like, no. Just no.
Why can't they just like come up with like buses, like mini buses to pick up?
School buses do. Schools do have school buses.
Then why don't they put the kids on a school bus?
Not everyone can afford that.
Yeah, but a motorcycle.
Yeah, because
maybe a scooter could be better.
Yeah, but like, how many kids are you gonna carry on a scooter? It still goes. But it's a 2-wheel operated vehicle. Like any small motion from an opposing direction and this thing topples over.
It's scary.
And none of them have helmets. None of them have any kind of safety
protective gear. It's just them and their
and I'm like
uniform.
With my son, I'm like, you're getting on your bike, helmet, knee guards, elbow guards, wrist guard. I want to see you fully geared stacked before you get on that bike or on those skates. And he knows it. He'll be like, no, I'm okay. I know. I'm like, put those things on. I do not care how much of an expert you are. You can do that when you're 18 and above and you pay your own medical bills. Until then, gear up. You know? So that was a major culture shock for me. But then another one, of course, was in the workplace, which is what we touched on earlier.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about, you know, workplace culture, but there's this phenomenon that goes on today about Gen Zs
that we're
at work.
We're awful.
You're lazy. You're... I thought he laughed. You're lazy. You guys do subpar work and, you know, all sorts of sentiments around Gen Zers, right? I remember there was a post I saw some time back on Instagram and people really did come for my comment on that particular post. I think my comment is still trending. I'll have to check my Instagram comment section again. But somebody put up a post venting about working with Gen Zs. The actual post was they hired a Gen Zer lady, I guess, or maybe for the purposes of this conversation, let's say it's a lady, hired this girl, and just before she was to begin working, I mean, it's customary. You have to do the orientation period.
Yeah.
Get to understand, get onboarded. There's paperwork you need to fill in and all of that. And this girl asked about her work environment.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah?
Yeah. And people were like in the comments.
She worked about her work environment and the response she got did not sit well by her. So she just didn't show up.
Damn.
You know? And so this potential boss or aggrieved boss, I think that's the right word. She, or he or she, whatever, went online to vent about, you know, how Gen Zs are lazy, how they make decisions without considering consequences and all of that. But like, if I'm looking at it objectively, why would you hire me and not create a safe space?
Right.
For me to work.
Yeah.
And still expect me to show up without any kind of guarantees that
this is where I work.
And you're still going to demand exceptional performance from me. You're still going to demand that I deliver regardless of the environment that you've put me in. So I feel like objectively, yes, she should have left. Maybe how she chose to do it
would have been,
should have been different. And so I commented on that. I remember I was like, okay, there's a difference between being lazy and, doing subpar, mediocre work and actually having boundaries. And I work with Gen Zs. You've met him. They are a very interesting generation to work with. But if you're very stuck on old school models of thinking, you're not going to learn. And whether we like it or not, you got to unlearn everything.
I think it's magnified by the culture.
Yes.
So it's like, yes, like for them, it's more so respect your elders. And they wanted to translate everywhere.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but if you're going to be working in a corporate space, like I truly believe that unless you are the boss, this is the true equalizer to some extent.
I don't even think it's a situation of
like if we're
colleagues. No, not really.
Not me and you, obviously.
No, I get that. I'm saying not really because, look, I'm a millennial, yes, right, and I'm a mid-generational millennial, I think, close to late millennials, right? And I've worked with the older millennials. I've worked with the elderly generations, right? And you're right, the whole respect your elders, it comes with the age thing. But fortunately for me, and I say fortunately because I look at like my peers who maybe didn't have the same upbringing that I did or the exposure, or there is that learning to define your boundaries and all of that, right? Being assertive, yada, yada, yada. I learned how to do that from a very young age, right? My dad used to be like, you're talking to somebody, you got to make your case clearly. Growing up, my dad did not, live with a whole, when you're fighting or disagreeing, Haika say this, Lucy say that. The person with the strongest case wins this argument. I learned that because I was his daughter, so I knew how to exploit that. I need you to censor this so that he doesn't see that and he knows that he's been exploited. But I learned that about my dad from a young age. So even at school, like, he would pick me up when I was in boarding school and my matron is complaining, your daughter this, your daughter that. And then my dad would be like, what did you do? And I'm like, yeah, so this was the situation. This is what, like, I have a proper chronological order. And so my dad would be like, listen, she was in your care. You did not address things. There's nothing I can do. It won that one. So from a very young age, like I knew that I needed to learn to set my foot down. I needed to have my boundaries, to express myself and all of that. But then I came to the Tanzanian workspace. And as you say, it's more of an age thing and a boss thing.
Of course, yeah.
If you ask my boss the number of times me and him have gone toe to toe, like I've had people tell me, you cannot talk to your boss like that. I'm like, why? He's human. He makes mistakes.
Of course.
Like, we've gone like this to the point that there was a day I remember we had that. Honestly, I did own up to that one. I really did have to own up to that one. But I'm like the kind of person who per day I have my to-do list, right? So whatever comes in, either it needs to fit in with that or just let me finish what I needed to get done before you start throwing things at me. And somebody from a whole different department comes, you need to do this. I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not happening. I have my to-do list because the moment you start letting in all this, you finish the day and you've not done what you need to do. And then you're in trouble. So I'm like, nope, this is my to-do list. How urgent is it? Can it wait until I finish this? No, I'm like, this thing was supposed to run. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a you problem.
Not mine.
Not mine. Don't make your problems mine. Person goes over to my boss and my boss comes to me very diplomatically. Lucy, actually when he's trying to get me to do stuff, he doesn't call me by my phone name. He's like, listen, Lou. I'm like, not doing it. Absolutely not. Don't call me Lou. Don't Lou me. We're not doing that. I'm like, listen, Lou, you need to help out here. I'm like, If she can wait until I'm done, I'll do it. No, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. And so these people spent like 30 minutes trying to convince me.
Those 30 minutes, I could have used it.
You could have done that.
Right.
You could have avoided all of this and spent 30 minutes sorting this out the first time I said no. And so eventually he gives in. I was like, I will do it when I have time. So eventually it's like, you know what? If she's able to do it later or draft something and then she can help. Because I was like, either you draft something, you give me something to work with, but don't expect me to come up with something from scratch. I'm not going to do it. So eventually we're cool. So this person tells me, no, you should not talk to your boss like that. I was like, whatever. And then later I sat and thought about it. I was like, okay, perhaps I did dig in my feet like a bit too hard, but I wasn't wrong. And I stand by what I said because I needed to complete this. So I remember going to him and I was like, listen, I know I was very vocal about saying no to this. Did you feel like I disrespected you? And he's like, yeah, it was kind of disrespectful. I was like, okay, I'm sorry about that. I did not intend for it to be disrespectful. But you guys kind of ambushed me. Because the first time I said no, this person felt it was right to go over me to get you to force me to do this. So I think you can kind of appreciate where I'm coming from. He's like, yeah, I do, and it's okay. Apology accepted. So I'm not above apologizing. I'm not above owning my crap because I know I come with a lot of it. But this is where now the whole Gen Z thing comes in, because Gen Zs, as we say, they're not scared of, voicing their thoughts and displeasure and boundaries and all of that. And in certain corporate workspaces, people still refuse to evolve.
Of course.
Yeah, people still want to work with the hierarchy of age and who is who and all of that. So the question that you asked the other day, you've shut down your laptop. It's already 5:00. And your boss comes to you with a new task and tells you that it needs to be done in the next 1 hour. As a Gen Z, respond as a Gen Z.
To be quite honest,
be quite honest, please.
No, like if it's 5:30 and
I'm not touching that.
Bye, guys. It's been a great day. We can circle back tomorrow, unless it's something that we have explicitly agreed that will require me working overtime.
Yeah,
like if it's a project that we're all working on, it needs to be done.
So that means you're getting paid overtime.
Not even that. It's more so, sometimes there are certain things where it's very intense, like a couple of 2-3 days that are very intense that we all need to like really put our heads down. Cool, that's okay. But every day,
I mean, yeah, it you get told that it's the job. And I don't know if you've seen, there's certain contracts that I've come across and I feel so bad saying this because they're so vague. And as a boss, I need you to sign the contract because I need to give you work. But you won't get me to sign such an agreement, in the sense that there's a clause that says your responsibilities would be 1, 2, 3, as well as given by your supervisor. And that gives your supervisor leeway
to treat you however, really.
To assign you tasks whatever the hell they feel like. Because I can, as a supervisor, maybe I might say, you know what, there's a deadline on this. There really isn't a deadline. The deadline was on me. I didn't work on it.
I didn't
even work on it. So the deadline has approached. So I'm passing it off to some. As a firstborn sister, I've done that before. You get chores, you get tasks from mom and dad, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this.
But I feel like whenever people like complain about that, I'm just like, they're fighting the good fight to make things better for all of us. We are the martyrs of this generation. Because think about it. Like if we fight for better conditions in the workplace, it's not just going to be a Gen Z thing.
I don't think it's about fighting for better conditions. It's about how you fight for these better conditions.
Of course. I think and
that's where the problem is. It's not the fighting
communicate.
It's the communicating, it's the asking for permission to do stuff, it's the transparency of how you do things that makes the attitude get questioned, right? I say that I work with GenZers. I've had situations where someone tells me last minute that they're not coming into work. You've known for a whole week that we have a meeting. I pinned it on the group. The reminder has come into your email that we have a meeting. And then 30 minutes before the meeting, you call me or you text me. Actually, I can respect call because then I can have like a live conversation with you and ask you what's going on. Somebody would text me. Sorry, I'm not going to make the meeting. Why? Why didn't you communicate this
earlier?
You know? Did you just find out that you're not going to make it to the meeting? And suddenly you get all types of excuses, right? And I feel like with me as like a leader, I guess, there are times where I know I've been hard on people with excuses because I felt that there were excuses, right? It could be true, but how you're packaging it
is very...
And it makes it sound as an excuse because you've already created a pattern of behavior. So when I look at all the meetings that you've missed, your reasons for missing the meetings or your reasons for delaying in delivering your work, they were shaky at best. Trash in most cases. And when you start questioning and poking holes in that excuse, you realize maybe this person just didn't feel like coming to work. It's okay. We all wake up sometimes and we're not really in the mood to see our colleagues. I've told my boss sometimes that I need to work from home. I need time off. I need mental health. I need a mental health week, or I need a mental health day. And I learned that from one of the leaders in this company. He was like, take your mental health day, my dear. They will stress you out. So it's okay. But it's the how
you do
of
it.
how Gen Zs choose to do it. As you say, you're martyrs of this whole movement. But I think martyrdom comes with wisdom.
Of course.
Which you guys are lacking.
Of course. But I feel like because I think that whenever we have this conversation in general, like when people have this conversation about how the younger generation are less likely to be more professional in the workplace, I think it's something that I think overall, particularly in Tanzania, there is a lack of education when it comes to work etiquette in universities. Like people don't know what they're supposed to be doing when they get into the workplace.
Yeah.
So they may have the degree, but they don't understand the day-to-day of how they should conduct themselves in the corporate space. So it's an educational thing as well. We're so quick to, like, if we're not properly equipping people coming in saying, hey, this is how you're supposed to do things. This is how you address your manager. But we don't, when we educate these people, we educate them from, not from a cultural perspective that uyurim kubawako. No, we say this is how you address
professional standards.
Exactly. Yeah. Professional standards. When we have people that are graduating, that are getting into the workplace, that are, coming into the workforce with no education on how they're supposed to conduct themselves. When you add that to I would like to say, the foolishness of youth, it just
is correct.
It magnifies everything. Not everyone, and again, not everyone understands how to properly relay this information, because again, if you're dealing with an older generation that have gotten by with the culture aspect of how a corporate office is supposed to be run, they're not properly telling the younger generation, hey, you can't have boundaries, but these are what the boundaries could look like in your situation. So I think it's not just like obviously, I'm not going to deny, some people are awful out here. Young people, they are. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah. That also I feel like has to do with like a policy thing. um, do companies, organizations, employers have policies, and do they explain them clearly to these people? If you're coming in and it's a professional environment, there's a certain way you're expected to dress, right? Head to toe.
Of course.
There's a certain way you need to present yourself. I work at Monanchi. It's professional, it's corporate, it's all that. But there are times I have leeway to dress the way I'm dressed today. But there's certain places, regardless of the time, I can't show up into the office looking like this, you know? And in as much as Monanchi does give you that kind of leeway, you know, to express yourself and all of that, you still gotta keep in mind that it's a professional setting. So how do I express? So GenZers, by the way, are very big on self-expression, whatever the hell that is.
Not every thought has to be expressed.
No. Because if we did,
Like, yeah.
if I let my innermost thoughts run wild, yeah.
I think it speaks deeper to not just that attitude. It's not just a corporate issue. I think overall, with life in general, because I think it's so easy to think that, you know, because things are different now. Yes, things are rapidly changing right now in all aspects, like when it comes to the workplace, socially, like technology wise, things are rapidly changing, but it's not, but people are people.
But you know, the thing is, hey, and I feel like, I don't know how we can best explain this to Gen Zers, right? Now that I'm older and wiser, I know better, right? But I can promise you, you guys are not the first generation,
Of course.
to think that you know it better. I am 100% sure that the generation before us, millennials, looked at us and thought, these kids are so disrespectful, these kids are that. And we thought we were the martyrs of whatever the hell we were pushing at the time. So it's definitely a generational thing. It's just, there's so much happening right now. You know, as opposed to us millennials growing up, our internet was not as widespread as it is now. Our options in terms of giving our thoughts were not as widespread as now. Growing up, you're at home, your parents are talking to a guest. You don't just come and sit down. How dare you? That's so disrespectful. You do not insert your opinion when adults are talking. But then there's this generation here that thinks their opinion must be heard during dinner with the guests. My time, the moment I open my mouth to speak, even if we're all sitting at the dinner table and there are guests around, if I dare to open my mouth, I mean, they'll probably let me express my thought, but I can promise you there will be a baiting coming once that guest is gone. But you can't do that with kids now. So yes, it's not martyrdom. It's been done. You're not inventing something new. You're just adding a spoke to the wheel that is already there, right? But now, how do we? Because now Gen Zers and, you know, the oncoming generations, you guys have so much information all at once. And I think that's what really makes it different for your generation in comparison to ours, because everything is like at your fingertips.
And also social media.
Yes.
I think that social media has made people feel, because think about it, you're not supposed to know what thousands of people are thinking about a specific topic.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to engage with that number of people at such a short number of time.
Yeah.
So we're in an environment where it's not like we're taking in so much information at once. We're interacting with so many other people at once, and social media has given people the courage to say things that they obviously wouldn't have said to the people that they're actually trying to get to in person. Like there's certain things that are, you know, crass.
Yeah.
But if I were to say that, I could never say to you in person.
Yeah.
And
but you can be a keyboard warrior.
Exactly, keyboard warrior. And then I think the happening of COVID-19 kind of exasperated this issue.
It heightened everything.
Because you have a young generation of people. I remember when I was graduating, which is around like COVID. or graduating high school. Like, you have 2 years of just sitting at home on your phone. That's the only
interaction
you have. And your social skills, your actual in-person social skills are probably suffered because of that. So you have people that are so quick to express themselves because they're so used to expressing themselves on social media and having no consequences. So what does that look like when you tell someone, oh, I don't like this? And then like real life, real stakes, what does that look like? Yeah. It's probably gonna be harder. But I think when we have this conversation about like our generation, I think I don't know if the millennials were like at the beginning of Facebook. Were you at the beginning of Facebook?
Sweetie, we are the beginning of internet.
Okay.
Social media networking, we walked so y'all could run.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you guys come on here and you're like, oh my God, these millennials and their Facebook. Do you know what MySpace was?
I know what it was, but I wasn't on it.
Do you know what Vibe was?
I heard about it. I'm like at the cusp of, yeah, but like, you know,
we perfected social media.
If you're a chronic online,
so with social media etiquette, y'all need to talk to us
about the social media etiquette.
Yes, we perfected it. So everything social media related has been built on our backs as millennials.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of times, like when we talk about the formative, obviously, you know, when we were growing up, I think I had, what did we have? We had Penguin House. It was a cartoon-ish, social media-ish for kids.
Yeah.
So you grow up on your computer. You're in your adolescence years, COVID. I don't know. It depends on when and where you were with COVID. But that literally stifled the social skills of thousands, millions of young people because you're in a situation where there's no consequences to what you're doing. You can say something so crazy on the internet, and what are they gonna do? Delete your account?
I like that you can actually break that down to like some of the factors because I don't think people really appreciate the kind of damage COVID did on young people. Because when COVID happened, for us, we already had the social skills. That's why it was so difficult for millennials and the older generations to stay in lockdown because you're used to that.
Yeah.
But it did so much damage to, you know, the Gen Zs and now these ones who
Gen Alpha.
Yeah, who were born in that period. I feel like for the Gen Alphas, it wasn't so much because they were already born in a digital era. So perhaps for them, it may have been a lot of a easier. Different experience. But for Gen Zs who started off with that social thing around them, the community, society and everything, only to be thrown into an environment that forces them to basically grow up online. Not many people really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of what we see today in our society, even when it comes to the way young adults think and how they go about their lives, a lot of it was kind of impacted by COVID because during COVID, a lot of these red pill communities, a lot of these toxic feminists, all these communities flourished when people had nothing to do but sit on their phones. And so you have a generation of people who thought they knew what they were doing because someone on the internet told them that they knew what they're doing. And then now they're going into the world and they're like, oh, it's not just this. It's not just that. There's a lot of gray area and nuance to interacting with people.
And you know, you actually made me think of something that we often take for granted, taking selfies. COVID normalized doing everything on your phone online. But then we go out. I like my privacy. I'm at a restaurant with my friends, probably not even a guy, just me and my girls. Me and my girls rarely, and photos are like, oh yeah, guys, we have to take a photo because like we actually have to do like to make conscious effort, intentional effort every time we hang out to take photos because we don't have photos with my friends. Like 2 days ago was another guy friend of mine, his birthday, and we only have one photo together that we took in February. I have known this guy since we're in high school. We do not have photos together. So COVID made it so normal to live your life on a screen that you go out and every 2 seconds there's a phone.
Literally.
And I kid you not,
we go out for the photos.
hate it with a passion. And honestly, maybe that's one of the reasons I don't like going out. Because I don't know who is putting me where, you know? And it's not even about being seen in certain places. It's just try to enjoy the moment. So I feel like we laugh about that a lot and, you know, we don't really take it seriously, but it is a problem.
It is a problem. It's like, because you just made me think about how, like, we just talk to my friends, we're like, oh, let's go out, let's go take photos. Like, we're going out for the photos. We're not going out to hang out. So it's like a lot of times, like, being thrown into that digital world and having to calibrate it to fit what your life actually looks like. Because sometimes it's like you want to be perceived a certain way. Because, you know, social media is perception. Yeah. You can control your perception. But in real life, you can't control your perception. Yeah. So people are allowed to perceive you the way they perceive you.
I actually think, yes, you can't control how people perceive you, right? But because
I would say it's more polished.
Hell-bent on polishing our online presence and persona and everything, we forget that when we dealing with people in real life, we are not that
person. Yeah.
And so with Gen Zs, the talking, you know, you find somebody talking as if they're writing a caption. Have a conversation with me. Do not talk to me as though you're drafting a caption for your Instagram post. Okay? Do not talk to me as though you're trying to manage how I should perceive you. I'm looking at you. I can hear you talk. I can process and assess the words coming out of your mouth. I can get a picture of how you think. So when you're trying to, you know, like, you know, like when you
moderate, basically.
Not even more. You know, when you're like trying to guide the sheep what path to walk, like you're trying to do that to somebody who has free will in processing.
Of course,
it doesn't work like that in the real world. And so when it comes to workspaces, this is what you see team leaders deal with when it comes to Gen Zs. And not everyone has the patience or the time to extend grace and say, I'm going to teach this person. And so it's one thing, I'm going to teach this person. It's another, is this person receptive enough?
That's also an important point.
Yeah.
Because like, it doesn't matter how open you are to helping someone if they're not receptive, if they don't think they need help,
much you can do. Yeah. So I honestly genuinely don't think Gen Zs are lazy. I just think it's a generational pandemic. No, pandemic is, it's actually a pandemic because it's worldwide.
It was a pandemic.
It is a pandemic. It's worldwide.
A lot of people are saying this. It's not just...
It's a generational pandemic.
Yeah, people are saying that Gen Z are just not willing to work. And I've heard this.
I think they are. If you give them the right incentive, which at the end of the day, it's not just Gen Zs. Everyone needs incentive to do something for you. I'm not coming here for free.
Of course.
These are my services. This is my time. These are energy, brain power, everything that I need to put into delivering what you want me to do. So are you giving Gen Zs the right incentives? Are you actually hearing them out? Right? So I don't think they're lazy. I just think you need to meet them somewhere where you can understand each other.
Yeah, because one would argue that like every generation inches us towards change. It may not be positive. It might be negative, whatever it is, but every generation inches us to a different way of life. So even millennials, you guys probably seemed really problematic to Gen X.
Oh, I'm sure we did.
And Gen X probably feel that, there's something wrong with these guys.
Yeah.
So it's
and the bloomers also thought the same about the Gen Xers.
We all bring forth change, whether it is we are aware of it or not.
Yeah.
Obviously, people that were not born in that era will not understand how things were before you guys to understand that, okay, these people actually made a positive impact with how we go about our days.
Yeah.
You never know. And I think the same thing goes with Gen Z, but I think now it's more, I think because of the overexposure to social media and the internet, because globalization has played a huge part to how we perceive each other. Like, one might be Tanzanian born and bred, but the way they think about things, the way they view things, the way they go about their lives, impacted by how things are done in the West.
Yeah.
Or they're like, bona, uku, they do things a certain way. I saw someone on TikTok do things a certain way.
Yeah.
I want to try to do this for myself.
Yeah.
So,
and it does work, by the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
It
So
does
it's
work.
like change happens, but we need to also be more, I would say, mindful of how we bring about that change. Because sometimes no one likes to be force-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, forcefully pushed into a direction. You gently steer them to a direction.
I mean, there are scenarios where you need a firmer hand.
Obviously, for sure.
As you say, the change can be good, can be bad. I personally feel with Gen Zs, this is a generation that pushed technology and the digital world and everything to limits that I think are still scary to a lot of people. Because this fear, I feel like this fear it was always there, even for us as millennials, when we were starting to explore the internet and all of that, you know, there won't be much control and all of that. And I remember, like, you know, you have parents who want to monitor extremely closely what
their kids are seeing on the internet.
Are seeing on the internet. That's with us millennials. And then you have the Gen Zs whose parents were like, oh yeah, raise them on the tablets, you know? So now that you've exposed them completely to the internet because of all the perceived goodness of technology and all of that, they have evolved in their thinking and how they do things to the point that we don't know how to curb that back in. And you can't.
Yeah.
That's not how technology operates.
You just have to embrace.
You have to embrace it and figure out how to live with it without it actually, you know, engulfing you, or making you disown your child.
Because because like now we have cases of like Gen Alpha kids getting into relationships with GPT, AI girlfriends. I remember recently I read about this child who committed suicide because his AI girlfriend told him that if you want to be with me, you have to kill yourself. So this kid killed himself.
You know, this actually reminded me of, there were a couple of incidents during the COVID period of people actually dying on screen, getting shot. There was one who actually, you know, themselves. There's another who, I think it was a fit of jealousy or something like that. She was at work. I'll have to look for this one. She was at work and somebody came in and just shot her on screen, on camera. She was, she was doing like a vlog, again, living your life online. So that's how people saw that story. And so we've moved from people doing dares on social media. The one who offed themselves was using a revolver. So they were playing Russian roulette with their life.
That's dumb though.
I know. Hence Gen Z is being dumb.
Like, that's so... why would you do that?
Gen Zs. Little dum-dums.
That's so... I mean, that's like... I'm like,
Yeah. Played Russian roulette with his life and he lost his life. On Facebook Live.
Facebook Live is like the scene of like so many crimes anyway. Some people commit crimes on Facebook Live.
So Gen Z is being exposed to that so much leads to dumb decisions.
And perceived collectivity, because you think that these people that are watching you, your audience or block, care so
collectively
deeply,
stupid.
Think they care about you, but really they don't care about you.
They hype you, do this, do that.
Because you're entertainment to them.
Yeah. Your generation is really making us question everything.
Of course.
Even parenting, by the way. If you look at a lot of millennial parents now, a lot of the decisions that they make with their kids are based off what your generation has done.
But millennial parents are the worst parents right now.
Actually, no, we're the best. Like,
no, go research it.
What are you talking about?
Gen Alpha kids are they're considered the worst kids.
No,
I'm telling you.
I have Gen Alpha nieces.
That's a saying. Oh, just because
I've seen Gen Alphas, and I think
exception to the rule does not make the rule invaluable.
No. I've been exposed to them like in schools and the likes, because I do work with schools. I think Gen Alphas is starting to tone the whole Gen Z thing down, because unless maybe we meet, millennial parents who aren't wise, so to speak, in their parenting skills. But a lot of millennial parents who've had exposure to technology from a young age to all these changes, they know better. So I've been exposed to kids like with some of the schools that I've worked in, and I feel Gen Alphas, even the betas, are a little not easy to manage, but they're a lot more aware of the dangers of technology and all of that. So that makes it easier to teach them. They are, it makes them a lot more receptive. You can't control what a child does online 100%. You can do enough as a parent that might give you some peace, but they are also receptive to understanding, right? I do want to give an example of my son, because I am very, like, his phone is right here. If he does anything, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna lock you. You're done for the day. You have the handset, yeah, but there's nothing you can do. And so he knows it. So they're learning to be a bit more responsible than the Gen Zs, right? During COVID, as you mentioned, the alphas, they were doing, the Zoom classes and all of that. For them, because they've grown up in the digital world, I think them sitting in class made it easier. They had things to keep them going. Your generation was graduating and spending 2 years at home.
Yeah, that was like,
you see, so you don't have much.
Fever dream.
Yeah, you don't have much. I mean, it would have been really good for us, because we'll be like, oh my God, I get to rest. But for people who don't really have much to do, that was not the best of times, to have them exposed to. But with the alphas, because they're studying, they still have classes every day, they have online tests and all of that, their minds were still actively being engaged by school and all of that. So I'm sure they also have their challenges from a Gen Z perspective, but I feel they are a lot more receptive and understanding, in terms of you can teach them and you can kind of try to guardrail them in the right direction.
You'll be the judge of that when they enter the workforce.
But I don't even dispute that at all, by the way, because I see when they're playing Roblox and the likes, and I'm like, yeah.
And Roblox isn't even safe for kids, by the way.
It isn't.
It's not.
It isn't. I've had that fight with my son, and I'm like, we're not doing that. He's tried every
everything,
every style to convince me to get him Roblox. I was like, no,
it's not safe for children.
It is not happening. Go play Minecraft.
When we were kids, what was it? Nintendo Wii. Do you remember the Nintendo Wii?
Yeah.
That was like our.
Yeah, but I had that started with the millennials.
Really? But we still used it, no?
We had the Nintendo. We had the tennis racket that you can.
Wii.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We had all of those.
Yeah.
We played video, like the tennis, long tennis, whatever. We had those.
Yeah.
They started with us.
Yeah.
You don't get to own that.
No, I'm saying that we had that as well. I feel like a lot of times with millennials.
You inherited it.
I feel like when you say, millennials will act like I don't know what world we're living in.
No, because you guys,
Gen Z's, be like, we used to have CDs. I was like, yeah, no shit, we had CDs as well. Like, we used to play outside. Oh, what do you think we were doing?
You guys have floppy disks.
Yes, I have one at home right now.
DVDs.
Yes.
VCRs.
Yes. What do you think? What do you think we used to watch?
I don't know. Maybe DVDs. I can believe. VCRs.
Yes. The cassette thingies?
Yeah. You see, you're even calling it a cassette thingy.
Yes, because I don't know what they're called,
it's
but
a
I know
VCR.
what it is.
What about the radio cassette? Did you used to wind it up with a pencil? No.
That we didn't have. But we had the ones that you put in with the thingy. And then, I used to have a bunch of cassettes. I still have them at home. And I feel like I can't throw them away.
Yeah, I can't. We've moved with our cassettes from country to country.
It's like, I know I'm never going to use them again. But it's like memories.
We actually still have our VCR. We had the double VCR with a DVD player on the side, and I think they still work.
People are like, oh, like what do you guys don't play? I was like, what? Like you people, like I feel like people think Gen Z is like 2009, but really it's not.
No, it isn't. That's
It's
the
like
later
1990.
6.
No, 1997 to 2004, I think 5.
Yeah.
That's Gen Z. Yeah, like a lot of things, like they overlap.
Actually, no, until 2009 or 10, somewhere there.
Really?
Because the 10s now, that brings in the alphas.
Let me Google this.
Yeah, it brings in the alphas, and then after the 20s, those are the betas.
Age range.
Yeah, should be around that area.
Ooh, 1997 to 2012.
See?
That's a long. That's a bit of a
It's a long
large
era.
range.
Yeah.
I feel like then.
So you can understand why we're looking at those born after 2005.
Yeah, I feel like then there has to be some sort of distinction between early Gen Z and the other Gen Zs, because
So the later Gen Zs are giving you guys a bad rep.
because the early Gen Zs, I'm Gen Z as well, but I'm an early Gen Z. So it's like a lot of things that people are like, oh, like you guys, there's this movie called Scary Movie. I don't know if you've heard it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, oh, you guys don't know what it is. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I saw it in the movies.
So the late Gen Zs are giving you guys a bad rep.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you guys don't know what that is. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah. So now, as the early Gen Zs, y'all need to educate your siblings.
Eish,
Because
that's beyond us now.
No. That is your cross to bear. That is your cross to bear. We've done our duty as millennials, you know? We've taken the brunt of things. We've laid the groundwork for y'all. It's now your problem to
deal with
fix.
But I feel, we can
Education.
barely fix ourselves. I feel like
Nobody can fix themselves.
Yeah.
We're all winging it, but like be the wiser, sage big sister.
I don't think I have any wisdom to offer as of now.
I don't think anyone ever has.
But
Just
it's
look at the
like,
crap that is being pulled. You're like, yeah,
I feel
no,
like
you
we're
can't do that at work.
I feel like we're so what? I feel like Gen Z right now, it's like, it's not even about the mental aspect. It's just like, just everything is changing so rapidly to get a grasp of anything. Anything. Like there's nothing you think you know.
Yeah.
Like imagine, like I remember someone was talking about how like AI is rapidly progressing in software engineering and all that. And they're like, by the time you're done taking your 3 month, 6 month certificate on the internet, there's already a program that can do exactly what that certificate.
I mean, yeah.
Have you like it's so like things are changing so much, I think.
Now, looking at like all the negativity and the perception and everything. And by the way, you're very well positioned with the articles that you're doing for The Citizen, and that should be a voice to the younger Gen Zs. But how do you get them to listen?
I think for them, what I've noticed with a lot of quote unquote Gen Zs is that I think a lot of us it's like we want to be understood, but I find that a lot of the times people of my generation love therapy speak. They love mental wellness, you know, my mental health, protect my peace.
My ADHD. I have ADHD.
But it's like all that awareness doesn't matter if you are not actively working to better yourself or if you do not extend the same empathy to others. So yes, you may have all these issues going on, but that doesn't excuse you from being a decent human being to others. So a lot of times there's a lot of information and knowledge, but there's a lack of understanding and empathy towards other people, and grace towards others. So I think when it comes to like I feel like to get us, you just have to kind of like understand. I know it sounds very like cliche to say, just understand. You don't understand.
We all try to understand, but before I understand, I have to hear you. So how are you going to get me to listen? How are you going to get me to hear you? And I think that's the challenge that comes with Gen Zers and, you know, the other generations. We don't know how to get them to hear us.
But I think if you want to have someone like, I think there has to be a level of mutual respect and common ground. Because if I know that no matter what I say to you, you're just gonna be like, she's just young. What does she know? Like if I speak to you and I know that's how you interact with me, I won't feel safe enough to open up in that space. I won't feel like my opinion will be respected or honored in that situation. Yeah. So I feel like if we can get to a place where we both value each other's opinions, because yes, we may be young, but there might be some, little nuggets of gold in the shit hole of whatever we're serving that day. And I think that if we look to the older generation and say, you know what, this person has gone through the jungle that is life, and they have something to offer me, and I should honor that and respect that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and I feel like this is going to be quite interesting. I want to play a little game, okay? And you're going to guess. Okay? These are the instructions. Let me read them for you. Okay. Hold up. All right. So, therapist, Tanzanian parent, or Gen Z? Okay? Keep that in mind. Therapist, you're a mental health advocate. So, yes. So, therapist, Tanzanian parent, or Gen Z? Now, I'm going to read like a bunch of statements, right? And I want you to tell me who you think is more likely to say that phrase.
Okay.
So, let's start easy. Protect your peace.
Like who's likely to say it?
Yeah.
Like African parent or Gen Z?
Or therapist. Don't overthink it. Protect your peace.
I think that's a very Gen Z thing to say.
Correct. You're not tired. You're just lazy.
African mom.
You don't have to be a mom. Okay, this is easy. You think too much.
Therapist.
No, apparently.
What?
A parent.
A parent?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, I don't know.
I don't think therapists actually blame you for thinking so much. They want to get into your innermost feelings.
The thing is, and this is the thing, I think a lot of people misconstrue that. Like, a lot of people think because they know what they're going through, like that's half the battle. If you're spending your time just thinking about, like I'm so anxious, that's just how I am, I'm so anxious, you're feeding into that energy. That's not going to help you actually stop being an anxious person.
So a good therapist would tell you you're thinking too much.
Would say,
not
yes,
you're overthinking it.
You're
overthinking. Or you're blowing it out of proportion.
You can validate someone's experience and also recognize that, hey, this is how we're gonna get through it. But sitting in that emotion is just not gonna help you.
Okay, how did that make you feel?
Can I give double answers for that?
No, one answer.
Therapists.
Okay. I would have also said millennials because...
Wait, is there a millennial option?
No, millennials are not an option. This is a Gen Z conversation. Because I have asked that to many people before. How do you do? Okay, you tell me, and how did that make you feel? But I never ask that in...
I've never heard a Gen Z person say that.
Yeah, I never ask that in a nice... Like, I'm trying to... Okay.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I've never heard a Gen Z person say that.
All right, boundaries are important.
I want to double answer that.
Okay.
I feel like that's a Gen Z thing, but it's also a therapist would say that.
So my answer was therapist.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like with Gen Z say that a lot though. Like
maybe because I have therapist friends, so
it's not even that.
A lot.
It all boils down to the overt access of information.
But I think Gen Z saying boundaries are important. Sometimes is not.
It's a cop out.
Exactly.
Like, you don't want to deal with anything that's hard
Yes.
just because you want to protect your boundaries.
That's not a boundary. All right. Maybe you're the problem. Devil's advocate today.
It's giving African mommy.
I think I would put all three on this one.
Really?
Yeah. Situational, you know,
situational
kind of response.
But that exact phrase, I could definitely see a parent saying that. Maybe where
I actually don't see my mom saying something like that. But I do see my Gen Z sister doing.
say that. Maybe you're the problem.
Yeah. Have you tried drinking water?
That's an easy answer.
Yeah.
African parents.
No, that's Gen Z.
No, it's not. Where do you get these answers
My
from?
research told me that these are the kind of responses that Gen Zs in wellness culture would give you.
Have you
Drink water and mind your business.
Your mom, oh mommy, my stomach's pain, drink kunyo magi. Kichwa kinauma, kunywa maji. Kunywa maji.
No, an African mom ukimwambia tumbo linaniuma, kichwa kinaniuma, they'll be like, you spend too much time on your
that phone. It's that phone.
It has nothing to do with water.
But yeah, like the water thing. Like, hey,
this is a Gen Z wellness culture.
Water?
Drinking matcha and, you know, healthy.
People don't, they think matcha more for sure. But I don't like it though. It's like,
I don't like how it is.
It's like grass.
Yeah.
I'm like a cow. Like,
okay. You don't need therapy. You need a job. This is so obvious.
Yeah, that's apparent. But let me tell you something. Like, a lot of times, like, sometimes our problems could be exacerbated by our lack of financial stability.
And not just financial stability, a lack of something to actually wake up and
you purpose,
go to.
yes.
No, yeah, a lack of purpose. You need a job.
Like a lot of, I remember those research study that was done that basically saying that depression, a lot of people, like 60% of what we know as depression right now can be kind of eliminated by purpose. So if you know that you have something to do today and you have something that's keeping you going every single day, you're not going to be as depressed. Now, I'm not saying that depression can be, don't quote me and say, oh, Haika said depression isn't real. It is real. Seek help.
Okay. Mbona umekonda?
I feel like are you edging me? This is a parent.
You should come visit us more. Hey, this is obvious.
I feel like this is also apparent.
Yeah. Your body's holding on to stress.
Ooh, that's an ultra therapist. Therapist Pro Max.
Okay, I need to disappear for a while and realign my energy.
Gen Z.
Yeah. I'm emotionally unavailable.
Gen Z.
Oh, this is so obvious. When are you getting married? Obviously. Obviously. What attachment style do you think you have?
Gen Z.
Gen Z?
Yes.
Not therapist.
Therapists won't ask you what their job is to help you
find your attachment style.
They're not gonna ask you. If they wanted to ask you, then you wouldn't be in their office if you weren't aware to some extent.
Maybe you're choosing the wrong people.
No. Like,
that's another one. Maybe you're choosing the wrong people. Who would say that?
No, like, who would say, what do you think your attachment style is? Like, I feel like that's like, no.
Okay.
I feel like that's something that Gen Z would say because they would like to use that to justify their shitty behavior.
But maybe the therapist would want to use it to help you with your self-awareness.
Because you may think it's something that you are, but you're not.
Yeah, but then once you figure that out, then they walk you through.
No, I mean, like, if you think, I could think that I'm anxious, right? But I'm actually avoidant.
I honestly have no idea what attachment styles are. So
let's skip that. You could think I'm attachment and you're avoidant. And then I'm like, oh, I'm actually, yes, I think I'm an anxious. If you think that you're something,
chances are you're probably not.
I'm not saying that you're probably not. Your feelings are valid, but your feelings aren't facts.
Yeah.
So you could feel that way.
But that doesn't make it real. Okay? Maybe you're choosing the wrong people.
Maybe I'm choosing the wrong people. I don't know. My mom would say something like that.
Apparently therapists.
My mom says that. It's like, maybe you're choosing the wrong friends
as well.
No, she's just very like, I don't know, very
all knowing.
in
Mums know.
tune.
Yeah,
in
mums
tune.
mums know best apparently. The problem is your standards are too high.
But that could be an African, a mummy. That could also
Trying
be
to get you to get married.
Yes. We'll be like, oh, what's wrong with him?
Okay.
But I also feel like Gen Z could sometimes say that.
Okay, so you've worked with, you said you work with Mind Matters. Oh my God, mindful is stuck in my head. Mind Matters.
Yeah.
So you meet all types of people, all types of mental health challenges that,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to say outright, but they're there.
Yeah.
So which ones of these do you hear often in your work? I don't know why I'm sad. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest.
5 is the highest?
Yeah. I don't know why I'm sad.
think-
How often do you hear that?
I think 2.
Really?
Yes.
People often know why they're sad.
No, like they say that to me. They say that. But it's like, I remember the few times that I've heard people call in and say, I don't know. I just feel sad. And the way they express it, be cracking me up sometimes. But
Okay.
yeah, but like I don't, a lot of times, because again, we live in a culture that's holds a lot of stigma when it comes to mental health. For someone to actually come forward and be like, I'm really going through something, it's normally when they're about to jump off a cliff or when things are just really bad. So it's like most of the time you have people that are really going through something that actually feel like, okay, I really need to see someone, because we don't have that culture of like someone saying, oh, you should go see.
We really don't.
Yeah. So it's like by the time people come in, it feels so unbearable for them that they just have to come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel behind in life. I don't.
I feel like a lot of people say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
My family doesn't understand me.
Or
I feel like it's such a Gen Z comment. Because you're clashing with everybody everywhere. So I feel like I've heard this from Gen Z sana.
yeah, they say like my family doesn't understand me.
Yeah, my sister just doesn't get me. Yeah. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know. This is so millennial coded though.
It's giving midlife crisis.
Yeah. I feel guilty all the time.
Guilty for what?
Okay. Okay. But like guilty.
So that just that sentence?
I feel like this is also quite should maybe millennial and Gen Z, because I watch a lot of these Reddit am I the a-hole situations, and some of them you can't make that shit up.
It's so chaotic.
Surreal. Like I listen to these conversations and I'm like, people do this in life? People have such problems? What happened to common sense?
I feel like people say that like if you have a problem, it's probably on Reddit, and if it's not, that means you are beyond saving.
Anyway, yeah. So at the end of the day with Gen Z, is it just setting boundaries, or are you guys just disrespectful? Because I feel like setting boundaries at work.
You can do that healthily though. You can do that with respect to the person, whatever the situation. Like you can set boundaries and still be considerate of other people.
I actually have this video that Mpoki once sent to me. And because I'm big on my boundaries, okay? I had to learn that if you don't set these boundaries, you get overwhelmed, you burn out. There was a period I was completely burnt out at work that I had no idea where my head was, And once I figured this whole boundary setting thing, again, because it had a lot to do with not knowing Tanzanian culture. So once I figured out how to set my boundaries and I made peace with the fact that there's nothing you can do to me. I'm very cocky about that part.
Yeah,
I'm like, I will do, but hakuna kitu tanifanya. There was a time he sends me this video. I'll send it to you. I'll even send it to him. Maybe he might even put it on this little in this episode. But he sent me a video of the Joker walking away from burning hospital. And he was like, this is very you when you're done with work. And I'm like, yeah. Because why am I coming back to a burning building? Yeah. I pulled my shift, I paid my dues, I'm out. And so they setting boundaries. This is the video. So I think for me, it's very important to set my boundaries, right?
Yeah, but like obviously you can set your boundaries, and then there's a way in which you communicate those boundaries.
And I do.
Yeah, so obviously like there's one thing to be like, see, this is how I typically do things. 5:30, I'm out.
Yes.
And there's this thing, and then there's like you being a bit more aggressive. Like there's there's certain language.
I haven't
and
gotten
tone.
to this level where me expressing my boundaries involves throwing a matchstick somewhere, but you have to learn to do that.
Yeah,
and
you can just be polite.
I honestly can't lie. The day he sent me this, I was like, oh my God, I feel so seen. Thank you. That makes you a very good boss, because the fact that you acknowledge this about me
knows that you know what I'm about.
Do not call me after 10 p.m. because he's called me before. I'm like, is it urgent? Somebody dying? Is the company on fire? Why are you calling me? Why didn't you just text me? I'm like, I was tired. I'm like, can it wait until tomorrow 8 o'clock? Text me at 8 o'clock. And so he knows my boundaries. He sent me this little video and I was like, so nice to be seen.
At least he knows.
It's very important to be seen. you know? So I feel like your generation needs to learn how to communicate professionally. Not every boss is as cool as me and this dude. Not everyone is gonna put up with whatever comes to his mind coming out of his mouth. Some people take offense in that.
Of course.
Some people find that disrespectful. You could lose your job. And I know Gen Zs are like, yeah, I don't give a crap about losing this job. But you should, because it creates a path that potential employers would look at in the future. And I don't think, especially the younger Gen Zs, really appreciate that. How you present yourself. If I put Haika's name out there, I expect you to uphold my reputation by how you perform. But if you do things as you please and you quit without so much as a formal conversation with your supervisor, the next time this person calls me,
they're like, oh,
my reputation is on the line as well. They will come and be like, you recommended Haika to us and Haika did 1, 2, 3, and I can't take that risk.
Of course.
And so I don't think Gen Zs understand how intricate this is in society.
I think it's just social cues. You have to understand the social cues, because it doesn't take an Einstein to know that, you can just go into an office or I don't know, whatever, and you can see by how they run their business, how they run the ship, that, okay, this is something that would fly here. This is something that won't fly here.
Yeah.
Calibrate yourself accordingly.
The wisdom to actually calibrate yourself is what is lacking. So, as the older Gen Z, the onus is on you to educate your siblings. The onus is on you to educate your siblings. Because how long are we going to rant about Gen Zs being lazy? And how long is there going to be this rift between these generations? It's a very unnecessary rift.
Yeah, I think it's very unnecessary.
It's a very unnecessary rift. It's very unnecessary entitlement that is being displayed. So maybe we learn how to communicate better, but also how to hear. Your generation needs to learn how to hear.
To hear or to care?
To hear. Because you will hear and listen to a person talking just so you can respond. You're not really hearing them out. And I feel like some of the gongano comes from that. I'm telling you 1, 2, 3, you're hearing me so that you can argue with me, when in reality the message is deeper than that. I need you to understand that I may not like it, but I'm not the only person you're ever going to work with that might have this kind of thinking. So why not question yourself? Okay, Lucy does not think we should behave like this. Why not try to adjust or look at what she likes? I mean, flatter me. It gets you everywhere. You never know. So figure out how to deal with Lucy. You might meet worse than Lucy in the future. But then you're gonna meet that worse than Lucy and be like, oh yeah, I did 1, 2, 3 with Lucy. Maybe
Turned out
this
she
might
wasn't
work.
that bad.
She was not that bad. And then you're gonna call me and be like, oh my God, I miss you so much. And I'm like, please don't ever call me. Yeah. So this whole Gen Z conversation it's intense. It's intense. I really hope we can find some type of middle ground.
Yeah, I think there needs to
especially
be like just like open dialogue, but with the openness to understand both perspectives. So like if we both come to the table and say, hey, like this is how I'm experiencing your behavior in real time. This is how I feel when you say what you say to me. And this is why it's unacceptable. And then like, oh, I didn't know that that's how you felt.
Yeah.
When, you were saying A, B, C, D. And like, there has to be an openness to change.
From both sides.
Yeah, it's more of like, okay, yes, you might not have to be as uptight. You can, maintain the baseline of basic respect. Like you can
like older and wiser, so you must also listen to us.
Of course. But that's what I'm saying, that like if you're gonna be stuck on that, of course someone that's like trying to I'm not saying that everybody has to be like overtly friendly and like cross work boundaries. But if I say if I have an idea and you brush it off just because I graduated last year or something, is this person likely to come to you when they actually have something that's worth sharing?
And I think that's just being a bad boss or a bad leader or supervisor, whatever position you're in.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think in the home setting, that's how parents operate. You need to set time to listen to the people that look up to you. So, yeah. Anyway, we are never going to finish this Gen Z conversation. It's been well over an hour.
Yeah.
And we don't want to overwhelm our audiences. So, Haika, thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you.
And
thank you for having
keep
me.
Up the Gen Z conversations.
I don't
On
want
the
this.
Citizen, write for them, let them hear you, ask them the relevant questions.
But it's not just Gen Z, because I feel like to have a proper conversation, everybody has to be involved.
To be involved, yeah.
Nothing is going to change in any capacity if we're all talking to a wall. If I'm just hearing myself speak, it's just not realistic. Everybody deserves to speak their piece, even the old and wrinkly millennials.
Yeah. So, this was great. I know if we have to keep breaking down, we won't finish.
Of course.
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in yet again. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.